of course, I'd like to welcome you to another session of Visions Now. As we always say, it's not tomorrow, it's not yesterday, but it's now. And so we want you to know that there are good things happening. Beautiful weather today. It's getting a little cool down here in this part of the country. For those of you who are in the northern part and the northeast, I know you all might be feeling a little snow, a little icy. But don't hate because I have short sleeves on. You know, it's all good. So just want you to know that today we have really a lot of things to cover here. And we want to, first of all, thank our guests for being here this evening. And of course, Ms. Versandra Kennebrew.
That's me.
And she's, when it comes to holistic health and wellness, she wears many hats. But there's really one hat. And that is healing.
Yes.
And she has a special event coming up, and we're going to talk to her about that. And of course, later on, the three amigos will be here to talk about the hot topics. And anybody else that come to mind that need to be talked about, we're going to talk about them too. And we're going to pray afterwards that it receive it the way it should be received. So, again, as always, it's a joy being with my friend here. And she's an immigrant to Columbus, but she got roots here. She got roots.
Yes.
She got roots, and so we're glad to have her. And she's getting right on in here. She's getting, it's not Atlanta. Here in Columbus, Georgia, of course, everything is delivered. Not Detroit, my love, my honey, Detroit. Lord have mercy. But Columbus is where we are, and this is where we're needed.
Yes.
Sunday, we need it here.
Right here.
So before we get into that, though, tell us a little bit about Versandra. I mean, tell us a little bit about who you are in terms of your evolution into this work.
Okay.
Now, of course, I know Detroit is an environment because I evolved into Dr. Jihad Abdul-Alim Hood in Detroit, and of course, that's normal. That's Detroit. I mean, Detroit is the cultural capital of the world, as far as I'm concerned, and so it has always been open to a lot of lifestyles, but progressive thinking and certainly holistic, Afrocentrism. Atlanta is a child of Detroit.
Yes.
I mean, right down I-75, when we left basically Detroit, a lot of people came down to Atlanta.
Yes.
So, but tell us a little bit about Versandra and her evolution, and then we're going to talk a little bit about your event coming up. And of course, hopefully this won't be, just periodic, but hopefully that you'll be bring some nice things for us, some tips on wellness and things of that sort, as time goes on. So, again,
absolutely. Well, definitely I want to thank you, Dr. Hub, for bringing me here today and inviting me to come and share with your audience and your friends and all of the wonderful people here in Columbus, Georgia, and around the world. Basically, I began this journey after 20 plus years working in retail. I worked in retail starting at age 14 in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right. Hambone.
So I got to Birmingham as a result of transitioning from Detroit, Michigan. My grandmother was raising me, and she needed to be close to her home.
Right, exactly.
So we moved south, and that was in the 70s.
Right. Okay.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
What is that saying about my age?
It's saying that you fine wine. Aging well.
Hey, but yeah, that was in the 70s. And when I got to my first job in Parisian in Birmingham and said I wanted to climb the corporate ladder and I wanted to be this successful business person, I had no clue that I would end up where I am today. So I did that for 20 plus years.
Being a free person.
Yes, being a free person. Because I thought I would be tied to that the rest of my life.
Indentured servant to corporate America. Yeah, I understand.
But I did that.
Oh, yeah.
I had to prove it to myself that I could.
Before you found out what the North Star was, you had to do that,
I climbed the ladder from stock person to salesperson to store manager to district sales manager, all the way up to 22 stores in 3 states, D.C., Maryland, Virginia. And yes, I was a slave to the paycheck. I was a slave to that paycheck. Yeah. I tell you, I worked 60, 70 hours until I nearly killed myself.
Right.
And when I was sick and falling down and on my knees and needing help, I had to look for something to heal myself. And I didn't recognize that the healing was so deep that I had to go all the way back into my childhood and begin all over again, just cleaning up stuff so that I can be free.
You had some emotional and social detoxification to take place.
Oh, yes, all of that. I'm glad you know how to say it professionally. But I was jacked up. I had to say that. I was jacked up and I needed immediate intervention or I would not have lived much longer. I can say that to be a fact. And I'm so grateful that I have a spiritual foundation. I'm grateful that my grandmother kept me in church from the time I was born, but the struggles that I went through were so deep because I was born in a mental institution. My mom was mentally ill. Mental illness was a huge part of my life to the point where it almost seemed like it was normal.
It was normal.
And it is normal to a lot of people, but for me, being who I am and always seeking the truth, speaking the truth and serving my fellow man with love and compassion, I needed to clean up some things so that I could do that better. And so in that process, I found holistic therapies. I found first essential oils and aromatherapy and the benefits of plant essences, herbs, and trees and how they benefited the body, the mind, and the spirit. And I grew from that. In 1999, I became a massage therapist, a certified massage therapist. And today, that's been 20 years since I started on that journey.
Now, out of all those different, I guess, career paths, certifications you could have gotten, paralegal, this, that, or the other, cosmetologist, or accounting, or what was it about massage therapy that attracted you, or was it someone that kind of guided you there? Was it something that you just always felt that you had a gift in touching people, or what?
Well, what it was, I read a book, actually. It was the Purpose-Driven Life.
Oh, yeah, I remember
And
that.
After reading that book, it caused me to do some deep introspection as to what is my purpose on this earth. And in that process, I began to see myself, even in dreams, just looking back on how my grandmother, who I mentioned raised me, she needed relief from pain on a regular basis. She had knee pain, back pain, foot pain, and she would constantly say, come over here and rub grandma's feet, come rub grandma's back. And those visions that were coming to me as I was seeking my purpose in life were of me helping my grandmother have relief from pain.
Gotcha.
And I'm seeing these things and I'm like, wait a minute. As I'm looking at myself, I recognize that I was being I was getting as much pleasure as my grandmother was receiving from getting the therapy or the hands-on healing. I was getting it by giving. And so I put these things together, and I've always heard.
So as you helped her detoxify from her pain, you also were detoxifying from your own emotional pain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I had always heard that if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life.
That's true.
And as I, just reflected on that. And
you won't get much sleep either.
You got that right. Well, I found that, hey, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it well. So I went to the best school that I could find there in Detroit, Irene's Myomassology Institute. I learned the art of healing, not only hands-on, but energetic healing.
Right,
oh my
right.
God. And this was a big deal because I'm
Right.
from a Christian background.
Right.
And in the Christian churches that I was attending, this was like, you know,
Hello, Deacon Michael Zapp here, inviting you to continue to support and give praise to the New Way to Live gospel program.
I have lost your mind, you're dealing with spirits, you're dealing with this and that.
Right.
And so it was not easy making this transition into the holistic health world
Right.
because there were a lot of taboos and a lot of different thoughts from people who did not quite understand what holistic therapies are and where they come from.
Right.
Because holistic therapies come from ancient healing therapies. Before there was the doctor that we know today with the white coat,
Right.
there were the healers in the community who knew how to go out in the woods and grab different herbs and plants and things and put together concoctions that made you feel better, that healed different illnesses. And there was the laying on of hands, you know.
Right.
That
Without a belt sometimes, sometimes with a belt. But I can relate because, I mean, in my case, I grew up, I never went to a physician for anything. The only physician I went to growing up, my first 18 years of my life, was a dentist. But in terms of colds and this and that, you went in the woods and grandma would say, go get that, you know, that rabbit
Go get
tobacco.
that tree bark, go get that.
That leaf over there, you get that plant over there, you remember that plant I showed you over there, that sour grass, get it, you know, or get that kerosene so we can make some kerosene candy here, so, you know, for this, you know, cough that you got, or if you got mumps, okay, go cut those leaves off. In other words, that's where I grew up, in Columbus, Georgia. See, Columbus, people think they certified now, but Columbus was country. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a town, and it's still got a town inside of Columbus. It's still just a town, but it got a new city around it. If you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some people got caught up into the new city part, and that's the part. People that's killing each other and acting a fool and disrespecting their parents and disrespecting their neighborhood. That's the city part. But the country part of us, you know, really want to still say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. You know, get up when old people come in, we respect. No, you still got that, and that's really that part that all of this connects up to, that we have to strengthen it so that we can go and start healing the city part of not only just Columbus, but it's the same, people doing the same thing in Atlanta, you know, people doing the same thing in other places where this toxicity is moving in to choke out the genuineness and the natural inclinations for healing that we brought from Africa
Right.
through the Caribbean, through the Southern experience.
Yeah.
And so you were blessed, and coming up through the Christian church experience, you know, there were some things that we maintained in there, but also there were some things that we picked up from the slavery experience that you had to kind of go up through.
Yes.
You know, but you took what you needed from that experience, but you didn't let it top you off so that you wouldn't grow anymore.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that helped me to do that was recognizing that my upbringing did not encourage education, because my grandmother had a 3rd grade education, my father had a 6th grade education, so college and those type of things were not really pushed. It was just, hey, it's good if you go through high school.
Right.
And so when I did that, I was the first one to do it, really, in my family, so
Right.
that was wonderful.
Right.
But I recognized that I needed more, and so I went back to school.
Good.
I went back to school and I studied psychology. I studied, you know, anatomy, physiology, pathology. I began to learn more about how the sciences actually matched up with a lot of those things that some people would say, is voodoo or something that's strange, the science is now proving those things to be true.
You're a root worker.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
come on now. We recognize that some things, you know, you do have to lie to the side and you have to say, you know what, that's just some, you know, hocus pocus. But when you have science to back it up,
Right.
then you can't think that way anymore.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
so that's why I continue even today to be a lifelong learner, and that's why I also moved from massage therapy to study integrative nutrition.
Right.
Because I wanted to understand how your career, your relationships, your spirituality, and your physical activity all feed and nurture
Right.
your body.
Right.
And that you
Yeah.
cannot have health without those things working in symphony.
Right.
You cannot have imbalance and expect to have balance on the inside, because everything that's inside out pictures. And so when you see craziness going on in your life, it's generally things that are inside that's kind of chaotic and just kind of mixed up.
Exactly. And I guess that kind of brings us to your event that's coming up.
Yes.
Because we, as you know, we're not doing too well in the relationship arena. I mean, people, I read a thing on Facebook today, and the sister was saying something about why do black males hate black females? And I'm trying to say, what world are you living in? I mean, I know we have conflict and misunderstandings, but it says something about the toxicity even of our perceptions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't realize the world that we live in and how it have us fighting each other and basically vexing our spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what are you planning on doing with this massage yoga intimacy Friday you got coming up here? I guess in a week or so.
Yeah, it's in a week. It is a part of a series. The Art of Touch experience is something that I've been doing since 2005, and I did not mention this as I was telling your audience about how I got to where I am today. But in the process of all of that, anytime you make a major drastic change in your life, generally you're going to see a major life transition happening. And so I did become homeless in the midst of all of that.
Okay.
And in that time when I was homeless and basically everything that I knew I had to relearn.
Right, sure.
Because I recognized during that period of time that things were not as they appeared. And so I began to listen more to the Spirit and how I would guide my life through how the Spirit was leading me.
Right.
And the Spirit of God was just basically speaking to me and sharing with me how touch and touch deprivation was adversely affecting our society, so much so that people are scared of touching or even being close to one another.
Exactly. Matter of fact, many times, I deal with obviously domestic violence and things of that sort, and people don't realize that basically that touch deprivation is violence turned inside out.
Yes.
In other words, the reason why we want to fight is because we don't know how to love.
Yes.
We spend more time plotting on each other and figuring out how to outmaneuver each other intellectually than how can I nurture this person? How can I inspire this person? How can I love this person?
Yes.
And so therefore we that art we've lost. And even to today, people would rather buy a vibrator than to get a massage. I'm just saying that's crazy. That's like trying it with a battery rather than a human being.
Yes.
They comfort with the battery in the machine, but not comfort with a human being, holding and caressing in
Yes.
a genuine type way. So
They're also more comfortable with pets. They're also more comfortable with the Huggies and the big pillows and the comforters and
don't bring up this bestiality thing. That's a whole nother conversation. Bestiality. But you're right. They more comfortable with pets.
I mean, it's like anything
licking and kissing on them and all that.
Anything that you don't have to really have patience, compassion, understanding, anything that will not cause you to have to use those skills,
your humanity,
then it's like, okay, I can kiss on you, my pussy wussy, I can kiss on you, but a real person,
exactly. I can rub my dog and my cat, but what you mean with your husband or your man or your woman? You can't. Don't ask me to rub your back. Don't ask me to scratch your head. What's wrong with scratch your own head? I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, we got to work on this.
Yes.
But so should people expect to get out of this particular experience? And now, this is just the beginning, because like so we talked about, there's a lot of work to be done. But
yes.
But what's going to happen in this? How many hours is it?
It's 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay.
2 hours of intimacy, yoga and massage. I've basically decided to pull all of the skill set that I have and wrap it up in a 2-hour session that teaches couples how to touch in a way that is, first of all, non-sexual. Because I know that that's part of the issue, because there have been lots of situations where people have been abused and those type of things. They think that every touch is a sexual touch, when every touch is not sexual. I mean,
well, let me say this.
Hello, I am Versandra Kennebrew, founder of VKI Personal Development, and you are watching New Way to Live Network. Yes.
All that. So I mean, there's just little things, but but we'll get a chance to follow up on some other time and train. But your point is well taken.
Let me just make sure that our guests and our listeners get a chance to have a better vision of what they will experience. So basically, you're coming in, very intimate session. We're just doing 2 couples at a time. I'm not working with a large group in this particular event.
Okay.
So there's 2 couples, and these are 2 people who came together. So you know that you came for this purpose. I kind of consider it an out-of-the-box date night. You know, it's like instead of going to the movies, instead of going to dinner, you're coming here for an evening. I've got some mimosa and some little refreshments for you. And then we go through a about 30-minute conversation. It's kind of an icebreaker to get everybody on the same page. We talk about this particular issue of intimacy and relationships. And then we go into a practice. Now we're going to learn how to touch one another in the movement of yoga. Like say, for instance, just right here while everybody's looking, we can do, just hold your hands up to me. We can touch hands here, and I can move, and then you can move. And we're touching, and we're doing our thing, and we're connecting. You see that? We didn't even have to say a word. No. I didn't say do this, do that. We just was doing it, and we were connecting, and we were vibing.
I like to do it.
You know what? Dr. Hud is something else. So
let's try to demonstrate.
Yes, we do that. Right. Then we do some yoga movements, and we learn the 4 essential movements of the art of touch, which are holding, where you're just placing your hands and touching, holding. And then there's long flowing strokes where you're learning to move slowly and caress the body. You're learning pulling, which pulling can be done through your extremities. We can pull in the hair, but these are gentle pulls. It's really a feeling of disconnecting, like for the hair, lifting it up off of the muscles, which gives some type of relief from the scalp, you know, that type of thing. And then the same thing when you're pulling the extremities, you're just kind of lengthening and pulling. Then there's let's see, I did the tracing. Tracing. Tracing is generally with fingertips, and it goes around lines of the body. So you're turning the hands into the paint brushes. The body is the canvas.
That's right.
You know, and then we've got the oil, which is the paint.
Yes.
You know, and we're creating a touch masterpiece with our hands.
Now, there's not any choking and spanking, is it?
We're not doing choking and spanking in this particular session.
That's another session. Okay.
Yes, that's a different type of session.
We won't give it much more, but go ahead, go and give them the details of the event. And the
event.
Too bad I can't come by myself, I tell you.
I want to make sure we have the correct address. Now, this is a new office, as we already know. And you know what, Dr. Hud, you are too much. I don't know what to say about you. You like, I like to do it. But we're located at 5410. I think that's the address. I'm trying to get this to pull up, y'all. But we're located just inside of the Breathe compound. If you are familiar with Breathe Holistic Health and Wellness Spa, then you know exactly where BKI Personal Development is located. So we're in the same complex, and I'm trying to pull the exact address so that everybody will know.
Number, and then they can call you or whatever.
There you go. My phone number is 770-687-3789. Again, that's 770-687-3789. And we are right at the corner of 54th and what is that?
Well, you give them the direction when they call you.
Yeah, I give you the directions when you call. But we're close to the airport, and it's not too far. And we really want these two couples to come willing, ready, and able to let go their intimacy barriers, let go any of the things that's been causing them to not be close to their partner, and be free to reconnect.
Right.
There's been couples that have not gotten a divorce as a result of this class and workshop. I mean, that's how powerful it is.
Now, does it matter what phase of relationship they're in? Can they be at the beginning?
Does not matter.
Okay, that's what I'm
married, you can be just dating, getting to know each other. You can be in trouble and you need to fix some stuff. Wherever you are in your relationship, this class, this workshop is going to bring you closer, and it's going to help you to get some clarity on whether you even need to move forward or not. And you know, it's really great that we have this partnership, because I am not the psychotherapist, I am not the psychiatrist, I am not that person, but I can send them to you because you specialize in relationships, and you specialize in relationships that may have had some type of trauma involved. And so I'm just happy that when I can't work with the person, or it goes beyond my skill set or expertise, I have a partner here that I can just refer my clients on to, and we can work with them together. So that's a wonderful thing.
And it's all about creating healthy, loving relationships.
Yes, absolutely.
And basically, you know, like say, what I do is that I deal with the spiritual education, the intellectual part of it, and when it comes to the practice, then of course, then you have the activities that will enhance their ability to express, you know, what they've learned intellectually and emotionally in that respect.
Before we leave, you got to tell your audience about how long was it when you found that video that you shared with me maybe about 5 years ago, Touch Me With Love.
What about it now?
How long ago did you get that? I mean, tell the story. You got to tell the story.
Well, I mean, basically, I had the video before I met her.
Yeah.
And so I had gone to a festival someplace, and because being, you know, I'm always looking for material that I can help with people that I work with who want to, you know, learn about their love languages and things of that sort. So I saw this video that said, okay. And so I had it on, and really, it was a while after I knew you that I realized that was your video. I mean, until it dawned on me, I said, wait a minute here. Are you the same person? I said, come, let me show you this, you know, and no doubt about it. And of course, you know, I hadn't really looked at it at that time because I hadn't used it. That's why I didn't see you on that. But again, it's a very nice video.
Yeah, and, but that was 2005, believe it or not.
That's when you did the video? That's
when I did that video.
Well, I must have got it around 2006 or 7. I probably got it around then. I had it for a long time.
Unreal.
No
that
doubt,
is
no
unreal.
Doubt. So I was a fan of yours even before. But again, that shows you the universality of, you know, how life does.
Yes.
But again, Sister Versandra,
yes,
as always, my pleasure.
Always.
And again, we look forward to you coming back and talking about some other aspects of this holistic lifestyle that we are trying to promote. I mean, because either we're going to promote health or we're going to allow negativity to destroy us.
Yes.
And I think that we need to promote health and love. And I think that this is part of the community. We want to do that. So again, we get ready to move into our next segment of Hot Topics with Ms. Barbara Pierce and Brother Richard Jesse. And so we're going to take a moment to change things around a little bit. And so we'd like to thank you for being with us today on Visions Now. And we'll be going into part 2 momentarily.
All right, it was real.
We are A-Girls Dance Team from Columbus, Georgia. is Juan Lane, and thank you for tuning in to this station, New Way to Live. Listen, we can't do it without your help. We need you to send your donations in today. This is how this station operates, and we're trying to do the very best for you and your family with the production that we have. We are really giving it our all, but we cannot continue it without your financial support. So please send your offerings in to P.O. Box 3615, Columbus, Georgia 3631903, in care of New Way to Live, and we'll make sure that we get it on so we can keep this great program going. If you and your family are enjoying it, we pray that you continue we pray that you send us a offering that we can continue it and do the very best for you. Also, make sure that you watch our public education program. This is a very special program where it can help you prepare for your next test. The public education program right here on New Way to Live. Thank you. Did you know that the majority of people have no will, trust, or power of attorney? What will happen to your children, property, or other assets? If you can't make decisions for yourself, who will know your wishes? Will the appropriate people know where to find all of your personal and financial documentations and information? Well, we have a program developed by attorneys to complete at your own pace from the comfort of your home. You can update this program as needed with no add-ons or surprise fees. You can secure all of your important information in this virtual password-protected safety deposit box with easy-to-use services and client support system available. Please call me today at 706-366-5520. Again, call me today at 706-366-5520. I hope to hear from you soon.